An audience arrives at a Chicago theater to see something truly unique, a one-man show with music and comedy about one man's descent into crystal meth addiction. How can he possibly pull it off? There's only one word for it: Methtacular.
You're here for a show with stories of sex and hilarious jokes, stories of moms and drug-addled folks doing crank, speed, Tina, or redneck cocaine. They've got glass, prissy, ice shards, or meth on the brain. 'Cause there's only one drug that promises scores of rotten brown teeth and venereal sores. Come on, everybody, you know what I'm talking about. Crystal methamphetamine. Now it's time to set the scene. I was 22, living here in Chicago. This is a true story. Welcome now to my Methtacular.
First off, I thought I was writing David Sedaris style essays. That's what I thought I was doing. And then I started reading them for actor and writer friends, and they all said it should be a show. And I said, well, that's a foolish thing. Why would I get up and talk about this in front of people? And then I just started to listen. And then a friend said, you should add songs. And I said, well, that's a foolish thing to do. Why would we do that? And then I listened, and we just sort of kept having it grow. It now contains all the things I love. It contains music and jokes.
I need a samba beat. When you are young and gay and living in the city, and inside you feel all shitty, full of self-doubt and self-pity, there are places for your going to have emotions that are flowing. There will be cops for all your blood.
The goal was to arc it like a musical, to arc it like a play, and that took a lot of removing things from Stephen's life. There were many, many times where he said, you know, this is my life, Adam, and then he let me cut them anyway.
I learned very quickly that just this side of straight meant hot, and loving that bootleg recording of Betty Buckley playing Mama Rose was not hot. By the way, if any of you are free later, I would love to play the Who's the Best Mama Rose game with you. I always start at one, I end at another. Patty, Bernadette, Ethel, Tyne Daly, like they all get their moment in the sun now and then, Linda Lavin. But if we're going to be honest with each other, nobody gives diction like Angela Lansbury. Like, have you heard the opening song of Anyone Can Whistle? It's called Me and My Town. It's on iTunes for 99 cents. It's totally worth it. She sings, everyone hates me, yes, yes. I mean, for a kid with a lisp, it was something to aspire to.
The sort of way I see the world in this sort of like big shows and things like that, it's all part of it. It's all part of that allure, I think, of this drug that made things seem better than great, you know? I was always searching, I think, for a musical theater moment in my life that doesn't exist. And yeah, so I think also there's a certain amount of wanting to get to know me. You know, as you get to know me in the beginning of the show, it allows you to now come along with me on the journey, because you've learned some things about me. It helps, I think.
I was just some guy, and he said, it's Tina. And I said, that's a funny name. What does it do? Is it like Coke? And he said it was like Coke, only better. And he wanted to watch my reaction to it. So, ever the performer, I stood naked in front of him, ready to enjoy the ride, and then it was under my nose, and I am the single most attractive person to ever walk the planet. There is no talent I don't possess. I am smart, funny, kind, precise, virtuous, and the masturbatory fantasy of every man I've ever met. The whole world revolves around this moment. There is nothing wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with me.
I get sad a lot when we're rehearsing the show. When there's people here, it's different. You know, when there's people laughing and enjoying and listening, it's a different experience. There's an electric thing that happens that sort of pushes me along. But when we're rehearsing it, it's difficult. All of those things are difficult. To live those moments again in an empty, quiet room is, it makes me sad. It doesn't quite get me to a place that feels triggering or anything like that, but it gets me to a place where I just get sad for 22, 23-year-old me.
I would be awake for another 18 hours after the 18 hours I'd already been awake prior to trying crystal meth, and I wasn't worried about the unprotected sex I just had, or the fact that that guy didn't look at me, let alone say goodbye to me as I left his apartment. No. The only thing I was worried about now is how am I going to get more? Countless times I would get over to a guy's apartment and I would learn just too much information about them. Like the walls of the leather dungeon lined with the dusty Precious Moments collection. Or the complete line of oil of Olay products in the bathroom. Or the worst, the story of the wife and why it isn't going right between them. I know why. I thought, yeah, you're gonna be fine. Just as long as you don't go back to that bathhouse or back on those phone sex lines. And then I thought, you can go back to the bathhouse, just don't do drugs there. And then I thought, you can do drugs, just be more sensible about it. And then I thought, you can do drugs, just don't get kicked out of your friend's apartment for doing drugs in your underwear off of her wall mirror. And then I thought, fuck it. Do what you want. It's not time to change, so you choose not to change. You'll just lose yourself. You will lose yourself. Lose yourself.
One of the great things about why we do this show, because you look at Stephen, he does not look like a sex-crazed drug addict. He does not look like he could have ever been one. And again, with the secrets thing, like a lot of people don't know how easy it is for anybody to pick up that drug and go down a road and become an addict and ruin their life.
I just started to get better. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with me. Lock all the doors and shut all the windows tight, cause I am bringing down this house of pain. Don't look back, everything's gonna be alright, cause I am bringing down this house of pain. I didn't know that I didn't have a good time till I stepped outside in the morning light. And I may never be the same, but that's alright, cause I am bringing down this house of pain.
If you've been to somewhere dark, you should be talking about it. Meth is the thing that brought me in and down and further down and further down into a dark place. And I feel like if there's something to be taken from my show, it's hopefully the fact that it's the telling that helps. It's the talking. It's the shining light in the darkest places, in the places that we think no one should ever see or no one will ever love us. And I think what I found is it's the opposite. The more you shine lights on those places, the more opportunities you have for real love.
I'm gonna huff and puff and blow this house down. I am bringing down this house of pain. I'm gonna huff and puff, blow this house down. I am bringing down this house of pain. I'm gonna huff and puff, blow this house down. Don't look back. Everything's gonna be alright. Thank you. Good night.